What's up YouTube? Brian here, back again with another video, and we are kicking off May here on the channel with a big unboxing. I've been traveling a lot. April was a crazy busy month for me work-wise. We went on a family vacation. Haven't been available that much to make YouTube videos. Plus, the snow took a long time to melt. The ice is finally off the lakes here in Minnesota. So fishing season is about to kick off officially. Next weekend is the May fishing opener here in Minnesota. I haven't been out to Wisconsin yet. I'm going to go this weekend. So I haven't really actually caught a bass, but that's going down this weekend. And while I've been traveling and running around, I've had a lot of piles of boxes starting to get collected here in the office. And I figured, why not just dust off the channel? We're going to go through an unboxing video. I picked up some cool stuff in the last month that I haven't talked about on here, although I have been posting about this stuff on Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram, let me throw a shout out real quick. So yeah, you should definitely be following me here down on Instagram. I post a lot more updates, and I post a lot of on the water fishing content when I'm out hitting the lakes down on the Instagram. That being said, I got 4 boxes from Omnia. I have my JDM Bento box from last month that I haven't even opened yet. And I got a couple new rods that I want to talk about. So we're going to start off with the rods because I know everyone here is here for rod content. I got 2 more rods that I picked up that I'm going to be testing this spring and in this summer. And I'm going to be doing review videos on these. And these are rods that I think people are excited about. I'm going to start off by talking about this one. I have picked this up. I haven't actually used either of these rods yet because I haven't had my boat out really at all. That's going to change this weekend. But this is the 7'5" Daiwa Tatula Elite. So this is the new 2023 version of the Daiwa Tatula Elite. I got the chance to touch all of the Daiwa Tatula Elite rods at a fishing show here in Minnesota called the Northwest Sports Show. I went through all the rods. I checked every single one, played with all of them. And the one that kind of tickled my fancy the most and I found the most interesting was this one. This is the 7'5" Cody Johnston, or Corey, sorry, not Cody, Corey Johnston, the Canadian Bassmaster Elite angler. This is his 7'5" medium heavy kind of multi-purpose rod, I guess you could say. Johnson says he throws a football jig on this thing and a chatterbait. What I've noticed is this is a 7'5" medium heavy. I'm gonna do a full review video on this thing, but this thing has a very soft tip, and the backbone goes the bend in this thing goes way down into the middle of the rod. So this thing is pretty spongy for a 7-foot medium heavy. And a lot of people were talking about the weight rating because this thing is only rated up to 5/8 of an ounce on the rod itself. However, I doubt that that's the tip of the weight spectrum on this thing. I'm guessing it's can handle way more than 5/8 of an ounce. Anyway, I'm going to be testing this rod. I'm going to see if it can do spinner baits, chatterbaits, moving baits, and if it can do football jigs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to test this. I threw a new Daiwa Zillion 7.1 on it because I think the Zillion plus the silver accents on the new Daiwa Tatula Elite, this thing just looks pretty. So this is gonna get some fluorocarbon on it very, very soon. And then the rod, I think most people have been asking me. People have been asking me to pick up this rod for a long time. And this is the Daiwa Steez AGS. So this is the first Daiwa Steez AGS, the new AGS spinning rod that I've had. I had the old Steez AGS spinning rods, but I have not had the new one. And this is the 7.6 medium light, the one. So a lot of people love this rod. I've been trying to get my hands on this for a while. This rod is actually kind of hard to find. Omnia has gotten very little amounts of these over the years. Since it came out. They just got a recent restock. I grabbed one. They flew out. I don't think they're in stock anymore. But this rod is very interesting because I've been comparing this rod to the Felissa and to my NRX 8 or 902S, which are both 7.5, 7.6. This thing is like a straight medium up until about here, and then it goes into a straight medium light the rest of the way up. This thing has way more power than the 902S NRX. Also, this bad boy weighs at 3.5 ounces. This is a sick, stupid light spinning rod for a 7.5, or I'm sorry, 7.6. So it's a really lightweight rod. And it's a long rod, which has got a really whippy tip. So apparently this thing makes really bomb casts with like light baits. I'm excited to try a whole bunch of stuff with this thing. Drop shot, obviously Ned rig, maybe even light Nico rigs, definitely paddle tail swim baits. This thing is rated, I'm going to keep hitting the tip. This thing is rated up to 3/4 of an ounce, which is crazy. And a lot of people say you absolutely can throw 1/2 ounce jigs with trailers on this thing, like 1/2 ounce football jigs or whatever. So I guess we're going to find out. Everyone says this rod's crazy. I'm going to use it for a whole bunch of stuff. And actually, if you own this rod, sound off in the comments what you use the 7.6 medium light Steez AGS of the 1 for, and I'm going to try some of these techniques. So give me some ideas on what to throw on this rod. I threw on the Daiwa Certe LT 3000 that I have, so I figured let's go bougie reel with a bougie rod. So this is what I'm going to run with this spring. I'm going to try some hair on it, some spy baits. I don't know. World is your oyster with this rod apparently. So future review videos coming soon. But let's dive into some of these boxes. I want to try and get through these as quick as possible. I'm going to start off with the one that I think has some of the best goodies in it. Oh no, not this one. Honestly, I'm not sure. We'll go with this one. I think this one has this is the heaviest box, so I think some of the best stuff is in this one. So we're going to go through a few of these Omnia boxes. This is stuff I bought for the spring. I did splurge on one very snazzy thing, and I think we'll find it at some point. Omnia has this promo going on right now that you get some beef jerky. Wow, this is a big package of beef jerky. So you get a big old package of this Wild River beef jerky when you buy stuff on Omnia right now. I think you have to get to a certain dollar amount. I don't remember off the top of my head, but this is awesome. I'm going to be stockpiling that stuff. Threw in a window sticker for the old truck or boat. Anyway, this is the one thing I think everyone's going to be excited about, and I picked up the new Daiwa Steez A2. So this is the new version of the Steez A. Omnia got a few of these in stock, and I had to grab it in the 8:1 gear ratio because if you guys don't know, the Daiwa Steez A, the 6-speed and the 7-speed were here in the US market. You could get the 8-speed, but you had to buy the Japanese version, and they were never in stock. Good luck getting an 8-speed of the old Steez A. You can never find one. But now that they have the Steez A2, the 8-speed and the 7-speed are for the US market, and if you want the 6-speed, you got to go buy the Japan version of the Steez A2. So I actually have never even held one of these in person. The other thing in this box is spinnerbaits. I needed a spinnerbait restock, so I grabbed some more Megabass SV3s. I'm starting to get a fan of these Nichols lures spinnerbaits. I used a couple of these last year, and they did really well. So these pulsator spinnerbaits, I grabbed a few of these. I just needed kind of a spinnerbait restock, get some fresh ones. So that's all that's left in that box. By the way, if you're not throwing the Megabass White Python SV3 spinnerbait for smallies and stuff, especially on the river, this is a killer. That's a fish catcher. Is that White Python Megabass SV3? So I'm gonna pop this box open real quick. I'm excited. I have never even touched this reel. They didn't have them at the sports show, and I haven't been into any shops that have them. So we got our usual books and shit, and then all right, it comes in a case. Now, it's going to be really hard to recommend this reel because they raised the MSRP price on this thing to $650 when it used to be like $500. So they increased the price considerably on this new Steez A. That's why everybody is buying them from Japan. The Japanese version of this is way more affordable. If you're going to buy this from a US tackle shop, you are going to be paying a hefty tax and hopefully get good discount codes where you can actually drop the price down a little bit. But still, this is Daiwa's flagship reel. It is the top of the line for baitcasters for them. So the big changes with the new Steez A versus the old Steez A, and I have 4 of the old Steez A's, is number 1, they changed the handle. No more paddle handle, which is, I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. I love the old Steez paddle handles. They were great. This feels okay. This is very similar to the handle that's on the Zillion. They also changed the paint job, so it's a lot darker. The other Steez A's were like a lighter gray. This is a much darker gray, which is kind of cool. They added the boost spool, so the double stage boost spool that they put in the Zillion is now in the Steez A, and apparently they upgraded the gearing on this thing. It's supposed to have some hyperdrive, brand new gearing. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to throw this reel to start on the FMJ, so I'm going to throw this with some really nice, I'm going to throw like 15-pound tattoo on this thing, throw it on the FMJ, and we're going to run around a Texas rig and jig with this thing in the spring. I'm probably going to throw it on other rods too. I'm going to move this thing around, try different rods and see how it goes. But Anyway, we got ourselves the completely ridiculously priced new Daiwa Steez A2. So same platform, new paint job, new spool, different handles, supposedly better gearing. I guess we're going to find out. But if this thing is fun to use as the old Steez A, great. But let's find out if it's $150 better than the old Steez A. Not that you have a choice anymore, because they are going to be discontinuing the old Steez A, and these are going to be the only version you can get. So going to be interesting. Stay tuned for hopefully more videos about that. Okay, so next thing we're going to dive into, another Omnia box. I'm just going to rip through some of this stuff. They've been getting a lot of restocks on things, and I'm also grabbing some stuff that I need. So first things first, I grabbed some A-rigs. Here in Minnesota, we can't throw multi-hook A-rigs, so we have to throw what's called the Minnesota rig, which means, I'm not going to take them out of the package, but I got the Hog Farmer Minnesota rigs. So these are legal in Minnesota, but you can also obviously fish these anywhere. I have to go between Wisconsin and Minnesota, so if I figure if I'm going to buy A-rigs, I might as well buy A-rigs that work at both places. This essentially, you only have one section in the middle of the A-rig where you can hook up a swim bait and a jig head to, and the rest of the A-rig are all blades, like, you know, all spinnerbait blades or willow blades. So anyway, grabbed a couple of A-rigs to throw. I'm not an A-rig guy. I haven't had a lot of experience throwing an A-rig, but I want to try it and and experiment a little bit. So we're gonna try the Minnesota rigs. I also grabbed some Demiki rig stuff. I actually wanted to try the actual Demiki baits for the Demiki rig. This is like the one that is kind of synonymous with the name, although, you know, moping and this technique has been around for years. It's nothing special. Demiki did not invent this, but they did come up with a bait called the Armor Shad. So I got some 3-inch Armor Shads. I got them in this pure gill color, and I also got the white, just the regular pearl ones. So I'm gonna try these. I mean, obviously you can drop shot with these. You can put them on the ball head jig, use forward-facing sonar, and kind of like go for smallmouth and stuff like that. So I'm gonna experiment a little more with the Demiki rig and moping this year as well. And then I had to grab these because Ben Milliken won his Bassmaster Open with Carolina rigging these things, and this is the 6th Sense Hogwalla. Now these suckers, since Milliken won the Open, these are hard to get. Omnia got a restock of these, and within 2 or 3 days they were all gone. I mean, they had a bunch of them and they all got taken out. I was traveling at the time and I forgot to put in an order, and when I went back, there's basically a couple packages in the plum bug color that was left. I'm not going to take it, well, I guess I could take them out of the package. So I've gotten way more into Carolina rigging. In the last season, I kind of rekindled my love of Carolina rigging, caught a ton of fish on it. So I'm back on the sea rig game, especially with the kind of bougie equipment. Kind of makes Carolina rigging fun. This is the bait that Ben Milliken Carolina rigged his way to an open win with for largemouth. So I'm definitely going to give this thing a whirl. It looks kind of the cross between like a destroyer and a lizard, and I don't know. It's kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of baits, but I'm going to sea rig with this thing. Looks fun. I had to try it because, hey, it won an open, and he said it got a lot more bites than other equivalent baits that we're using. Of course he's going to say that, but Ben Milliken's like Mr. Sixth Sense, right? I think he probably owns part of the company or whatever. But anyway, we're going to try the Hogwall, see if it works. And the only other things I had in this package were some rod glove stuff. I want to try one of these little bait keeper wraps that you can put on your rod when you have like your jerk bait or a crankbait or something. I want to see if this thing works as well as the other things I've been using. So I don't know, just something to try out. Anyway, that's pretty much it for that box. We'll keep it moving, We'll go with another Omnia box. Let's see what's in here. I actually don't even remember some of the stuff I ordered. This stuff's just been kind of piling up and been too busy to really go through it. Oh, speaking of the Bassmaster Classic winning Demiki rig, I grabbed the exact setup that Gussie used, and these have been on Omnia's site for a little while. So if you don't know, Jeff Gustafson won the Bassmaster Classic basically doing this technique with these exact baits. So these are the Smeltinator jigs. These have been like really popular up in Canada for years. And this particular is the 2-aught and the 3/8. So I believe that this is the exact size. So Jeff Gustafson uses the 2-aught, and then he pairs it with the Smelt scented jerk shad, the 4-inch. Yeah, so you got the 4-inch smelted jerk shads with the 2-aught Smeltinator jig heads and the 3/8. And this combo right here is what Jeff Gustafson was chucking in front of his forward-facing sonar to bring up smallmouth. Now, I know a lot of people use this exact technique to smash walleyes, especially in the North Country here in like Minnesota and Wisconsin. So this technique is not new. It's been around a long time. A lot of people just use a VMC moon eye and like just any kind of fluke style bait. So a lot of people do like a fluke and a VMC moon eye and throwing it on the bottom and bouncing it and just, you basically hit the bottom, crank it up a little bit, get it right off the bottom, and then just kind of shake it. That technique's been around a long time. Kind of the same thing, except nowadays we have forward-facing sonar, and we can actually see the bait and how the fish react to it, so it's a whole different kind of game. So anyway, I grabbed 3 packs of these scented jerk shads in the smelt color, because this is the exact one that Gussie was using. I grabbed a couple of these packages. I'm actually gonna give some of this to my dad, who has just recently put forward-facing sonar on his pontoon. I figured this is a technique he could probably try out. So I got some extra stuff to hook up my dad as well. Okay, keep it moving. Now we got, I think this whole box is basically one thing that I ordered because Omnia just got these back in stock and I'm kind of running low. So this is a whole order of VMC ringed HD. So this is the ringed hooks, but this is the HD, so it's the thicker wire. These are the hooks I like to run on the Carolina rig. Also, you can flip with these in Texas rig with these as well. But these 3/0 has been out of stock for a while. It's kind of a popular size in the ringed hooks. So I grabbed 4 packages because I want to have some for all season. This is definitely a hook that I will throw on a Carolina rig. And actually, this is the exact size hook to throw on if you're going to Carolina rig that hog walla. So if you're going to drag a creature bait around, you kind of want to have a small hook as you feel comfortable throwing on the back of these creature baits when you are Carolina rigging, because you want to have that bait to have as much action as possible. You don't want a big heavy hook that's kind of making that bait sit and float down. So 3/0 VMC ringed HD with the hog wall is definitely going to go on my Carolina rig setup, which I've been loving Carolina rigging with the Daiwa Steez Bottom Contact 2. That is a sick Carolina rig rod. I had the Carolina rig tied onto that rod most of the fall. Anyway, all right, last box we're going to get into is the Hookup Tackles JDM Bento box from this past month. This has been sitting around for a little bit. I haven't got a chance to open it. I already watched Ben's unboxing video on his channel, so if you've already seen that, you know exactly what's in here. I'm going to go through this quick because I think we're already at 17 minutes on this video, which is entirely too long to watch me sit and open up tackle. But anyway, let's just blow through this thing. So there's DRT Champ Shad. So I got a fat one. So, okay, so DRT Champ Shad, if you don't know what this is a swim bait, this is a boot tail swim bait that is meant to be rigged weedless. And then when you throw it out and you twitch it, you can kind of get it gliding like a glide bait. It's meant to kind of like go dart back and forth and kind of body roll. So when you see this under the water and how this thing actually works when you rig it weightless, it's actually pretty cool. So the DRT Cramp Shad 4.5. I'm actually kind of excited to try this. This looks kind of fun. Definitely got to throw it on a bait caster. It's pretty big, heavy bait. So, all right, we got some Camp Shads. We got a Goofy Realis, Dual Realis poop bait. So the poop baits are popular. Everyone's doing a poop bait now. Dual Realis is also doing one. This is called the Wriggle Stick. So I don't know if I really want to take it out of the package, but essentially it's the same thing as like the Cover Scat or the new Yamamoto poop stick bait. It's basically, you throw it on an EWG, you throw it weedless, you let it sink to the bottom, and then you let it, you bounce it, let it dart around, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Poop baits are poop baits. It's 4 inches. Apparently these things sink pretty good. We'll try it out. I definitely think I can catch a smallie or 2 on this thing. They seem to, go for cray. It's the obvious crayfish imitator, that kind of thing. All right. So then next up we got the Valley Hill Lucky Hat Craft collab baits that Ben's been doing. I actually got a good color. This is the Essa Gill. This is basically a lipless crank with a blade on it, if I remember correctly. Yep. So basically, you got an LV, I believe it's kind of like an LV500. Yeah, LV500, but with a blade, or with a blade on the front of it to add that extra flash and give it some more weight and different action, that kind of thing. I'm not a big lipless guy. I don't throw lipless that much, so I'm not super excited about these. I already got a bunch of lipless that I don't throw, and I'm guessing this is just going to go into the pile of more lipless baits that I don't throw. Okay, so the elephant in the room on this box is right here. Ben shoved a giant Raid crawler into these things, which is cool. I have to admit, I was pretty excited when he's throwing a big bait into the bento box. So we'll talk about the Pop Max and the 110, but this thing looks badass. I have no idea how much this weighs. It looks multiple ounces though. It's a big old crawler called the Deca Doge. I'm not taking this thing out of the box. We're going to leave it in here. But so shout out to Ben for throwing a big, cool, I'm assuming fairly expensive bait into the JDM bento box. I have thrown crawlers. They are kind of fun to throw. This is a big crawler, so we'll give this thing a whirl. I guess I could throw this on my TS Poker, maybe Tequila Baccarat, something like that. Or maybe my new Jungle 11 stick. We could throw that on there too. So I don't know. We'll see. Looks fun though. Definitely going to have some adventures with that thing. And then lastly, the 110, the Pop Max. Ben already talked about these. This is a color called GP Okinawa. Yeah, GP Okinawa. So it's kind of a bluegill. Well, no, it's not really a bluegill. I don't know what pattern this is, but I don't know. It's definitely a bait fishy pattern. We'll take the 110 out. We'll leave the Pop Max in the box. But anyway, this is the special edition 110 and Pop Max that came out this year or this last month. That's actually pretty cool. So green top, pearl bottom, kind of, yeah, definitely very, very translucent. You can totally see through this thing. Yeah, this is a cool one. I like this. Pretty nice. Definitely a fishy color. So, all right, we're at 21 minutes. I ran through a bunch of boxes. We got so much stuff. I got to throw line on all these reels. I got to get ready for fishing this weekend. I'm happy to be back on YouTube. I'm going to have some rod videos coming out real soon. I'm going to re-review the NRX Plus 873C, and I'm also going to re-review the NRX Plus 852S. So I just want to re-review some of these NRX rods that have been remolded in the pluses, because I've been using them a lot and have some thoughts and opinions. So that's probably going to be my next videos, and my next uploads are going to be some NRX reviews, and hopefully we can shoot some on the water content maybe this weekend. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for watching. We are back. Definitely hit me up on the old Instagrams down here if you're not at Punch Fishing, and thank you. Please hit like and subscribe, and we will see you guys again real soon. Thank you.